NFL Divisional Recap. My God, what a great slate of games. We had 2 go to overtime. I saw the best play maybe in my entire life. Let's dive into the games because that's what you guys want. Now, how did I do my predictions before we go there? Well, Broncos won. Okay, that's 1-0. Then we had Seattle minus 7.5. Okay, that's 2-0. Then we had Patriots minus 3. Okay, that's 3-0. And then we had the Bears plus 4.5. So that's 4-0. So if for those of you who are keeping track, sure, I went 4-0. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe subscribe right now, like the video, and we can review so you're ready next time. Starting off, Bills, Broncos. What a great way to start off the weekend. So you just can't go wrong with overtime games in the NFL. And they changed the rules for Buffalo. When they first played Kansas City, or the second time or whatever, who cares? It was that magical game. But in the end of the day, it still didn't matter. No matter what, if the Bills go into overtime in the playoffs, it's not going to look pretty for them. Well, I guess they did beat Jacksonville last week, but that's fine. Whatever. Let's jump into the winners because that's what we do here first on the show. Shout out Josh Pate. So, Broncos, bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. And they survived a yardage deficit. The Buffalo Bills had way more yards than them, but they capitalized off of turnovers. How many? 5. So I just can't stay in the Broncos team because whenever they're doing good, I go against them. Whenever I'm with them, they do bad, but at least they did good this time. But they did have a Buffalo Bills future. So net, I didn't really do that well on the day. So Bo Nix, 26 for 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a clutch pass to Marvin Mims, and then also including an ankle that doesn't really function that well, so we're going to get to that in a moment. Marvin Mims, electric. 8 receptions, 93 yards. He really knew how to just catch the ball and then run the ball and get some first downs. Sutton, surprisingly quiet this game. So despite just not doing anything the second half, when they needed to turn it on, they did, and they got a 73-yard drive when they needed it big time. So the defense, they forced 5 turnovers, and that's really the whole story of this game. 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles against a Bills team that just didn't punt once. And what was even impressive is that there was no time left, and then you had Josh Allen scrambling. They knocked the ball out, they recovered it, and then they kicked the field goal. I mean, that is just such bad play calling. Should Josh Allen have held that and really just went down to protect his body alone? Yes. Did he? No. But that's just bad on the coach. But we're going to see about the coach's future a little bit later in the show. So, again, the Bills team didn't punt, which I guess is impressive, but then you turn the ball over 5 times, which is not impressive. McMillan, I think he made one of the plays of the game where he had the leaping interception against Brandin Cooks in overtime. Now, was that a catch, not a catch? We'll dive into that in a moment. Red zone, though, Buffalo, 3 of 5 in the red zone, field goals, which was huge for this Broncos defense. Overall, my team takeaways, Broncos offense just didn't mess it up, and the Bills were just hurting themselves. So that's all that really needed to happen. It's going to be next man up. Now, why? Because Bo Nix injured himself, and we'll get to that in a moment. The Buffalo Bills, again, they lost by 3 points. They dominated every single category on the scoreboard besides the score, which is bad. Josh Allen, 283 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Tragic. He did his own Superman thing. Now, did he make some more mistakes this game that are maybe a little bit uncharacteristic? Yeah, can I say that word right? No. Can I ever be a cartoon sketch person? No, I really failed in art class. It's bad, but it's fine. He had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, very costly, and I don't know why. But when you go ahead and you look at the film, not all of them were completely his fault. Again, the one right before half, that was horrible. James Cook, that must be a fun. James Cook, 117 yards on 24 carries, but had a fumble in the Broncos territory, which again is bad. These little mistakes caught up to this Bills team, and they were great on 3rd down. I guess you can say that, 10 for 15, so you got to continue a lot of drives. And their defense, they played better than everyone's expecting. Everyone's expecting this Broncos team to run on them, and they held them. They held them pretty well. That's impressive, just 70 yards. But the pass rush, they put consistent pressure on Nix. So, again, it was a great offensive line that this Broncos team has, but you still got after him, which is what's crazy in the end of the day. The overall takeaway from this game is just self-inflicted wounds from the Buffalo Bills, which creates such a what-if game. But the heartbreak continues. Buffalo yet to make a Super Bowl with probably the best quarterback in the league. By far, it's bad. He was emotional in post-game conference, crying. Now, here's my take. Josh Allen crying, is that good or bad? I like it. Why not? You get a little bit emotional. It makes you see how much he wants to win. Sure, he has the fantastic wife. He has a baby on the way. He has a mansion. He's a stud. It must be fun to be his life. But in the end of the day, all this guy wants to do is just win for Buffalo. So I think that's still pretty great, showing how much he cares. I want him to win, just as long as it's not against the Eagles. Then I was rooting for him. Didn't work well. What are you going to do? This is the entire game right here. So the moment that shifted the game was in overtime. So the Buffalo Bills, they get a stop on this Broncos team, makes him punt. Josh Allen throws it deep to Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks catches the ball, has his knee on the ground, and then it gets stripped away from him. But the ball never touches the ground. So they call this an interception. Now, how we fast forward 24 hours. The same exact play happens with Davante Adams. His knee touches the ground. They rip him away from him before he can finish the catch, and they ruled it a catch for Davante Adams. So, did the Bills get screwed? Yes, the Bills absolutely got screwed. In my opinion, that's 100% a catch. If you have possession of it and you're an offensive player and something hits the ground like a knee or let's say 2 feet and it gets stripped away from you before you finish the catch, that's 100% a catch. It doesn't matter. Because like you can have 2 feet in and that's a catch and they could rip it from you, that's a fumble. But when you have a knee, that is a player that is down. And guess what? They didn't count it. So honestly, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. The whole game could have shifted, but that's fine. It's whatever. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Overall, though, Denver is going to move on to the AFC Championship game, but they face a massive disadvantage. Why? Well, because Bo Nix is not playing in the game. Bo Nix got injured in one of the last 2 plays of the game when you're setting up a field goal. It was either one where he went out left or just a straight up just kneeling down. It was bad all around. So I do feel bad for Bo Nix. I feel bad for all these fans because like you're doing so good and then you're going to get in the AFC Championship game and then you're probably just going to get steamrolled by the Patriots. I'm sure the Sharps and everyone else is going to be like, well, the Broncos defense, I don't care. The Broncos defense is not as good as the Texans defense. We saw the Texans defense destroy this Patriots offense in a sense with turnovers. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter. This Patriots team still steamrolled them. So why do you think it's going to be any different in this round? I don't know. Loser, though, Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott fired. So this is a big, big deal for the Buffalo Bills because I think he was there and had winning seasons and took them playoffs 7 out of 8 seasons. And with Josh Allen, though, getting to the playoffs, getting to one AFC Championship game is just not enough. You have to actually go ahead and win and get to the Super Bowl. At least get to a Super Bowl appearance. Sure, should you have won a Super Bowl? Yeah. Is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the league? Yes. Have you done anything for him? No. So how is it that Sean McDermott's fired? I get that. But why aren't they firing the GM? You have not done anything to support this man, and yet you're just going to keep the GM out there. You're going to let the GM pick who? Keon Coleman again? I mean, this is getting out of hand, and I feel bad for him. It's like when you're playing a game of Clue, and then it's like, well, who did in this? And then it's like with the candlestick or it's with the flare gun. But it doesn't matter because in the end of the day, there's no items doing it. It's just the bad people. It's Sean McDermott and I forget the GM's name. I think it's like Joe or something in the draft room. And that's how they killed Josh Allen. It's really quite that simple. Sean McDermott, though, I'm sure he could get maybe another head coach. Nah, he probably won't get a head coach. Maybe, I don't even know what he would get. I honestly don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Sean McDermott, Philly guy. Shout at him, I guess. Look, Buffalo's going to enter in this offseason another time with them having their hearts ripped out in the end of the season. People, as we break into the next game, make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing for the show. San Francisco, Seattle. What a fantastic game. It wasn't really that fantastic. Well, it started off hot. You had Rashid Shaheed catch the ball and just return to the end zone. Rashid Shaheed. Funnest name in the NFL, one of the funnest returners in the NFL. No. He is the funnest returner in the NFL. We had him have a punt return back from the Rams, and we had him just start off the game with a kickoff touchdown. I mean, nothing is better than that. He's absolutely electrifying. But when we go into this offense, they won 41-6. It was a whopping. Kenneth Walker tied a playoff record, 3 rushing touchdowns, 116 yards, 19 carries. Sam Darnold, we had all that stuff. Oh, he has an oblique injury. We saw the line shift around a little bit, but not as much as you would anticipate. So he's a little bit injured. He was 12 for 17, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Most importantly, he didn't mess up. When you have the Seattle defense backing you, just don't mess up. It's really as simple as that. Now, Onis Jones, did I say his name right? Possibly, possibly not. He's the undisputed MVP of this unit. Forced a fumble in a crucial second half interception. Pass rush got in Brock Purdy's face. Oh, Trent's there? They don't care. Trent's there? They don't care. 47.4% pressure rate. That is also, fun fact, the same percentages I used to get on some of my math tests when I was a kid because I was not good at adding. And they only blitz on 10.5% of snaps, which is about the time that I feel like I could dunk a basketball on 7 foot. Sometimes I feel like I got the legs on me, and sometimes I don't. Now, their red zone lockdown, they were able to really hold this team to not score in the end zone with this Niners. Well, there's no Kittle, and we'll see what happens to Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know, whatever. Overall, the team, they played complementary football. You let your defense do the work, and offense don't mess up. And under Mike Macdonald, he has them scoring the ball and stopping scores from happening. Only let up 7 points twice in 3 weeks against Kyle Shanahan. San Francisco, they only put up 6 points. Nightmare since the first kick. You knew this game was done. You knew they put it all on the line to beat the Eagles, and nothing else happened. Brock Purdy struggled, right? 15 of 27, 140 yards, 1 interception. He got pulled late for Mac Jones. It was just, hey, Purdy, don't get injured. It's bad. It's bad. Christian McCaffrey, he got injured. So he left with a shoulder injury, and it's like, whoa, he got injured. 35 rushing yards, 39 receiving yards, didn't do much. Jake Tonges, or I just like to call him Tongues, 5 catches for 59 yards, but then he left as well. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there must be something going on with maybe the elasticity, or their trainer need to really work on strengthening with them. Their defense, they got gash on them. Again, 5.3 yards per carry. Their defense can only do what they can do. It's like showing up to a birthday party that's a theme party, but then in reality, there's no theme there, but you're dressed up weird. That's what the defense is doing. Kenneth Walker absolutely destroyed them. And again, I really think they just left it all on the line against this Eagles team that could not scheme anything for their life with them. Patula, you're gone. It's fine. Situationally, they got stopped on all these key third downs for the Niners offense, which hey, maybe you'd probably want to use Kittle in those situations, or even McCaffrey. Overall takeaway is that this team overperformed for how many injuries they had. Again, now, this moment was definitely destroyed since opening kickoff. Rashishi took the ball, got into the end zone. Absolutely insane. Outlook on this, we're going to have the Seattle Seahawks play the Rams. Now, the Rams, are 3-point dogs right now, so I am leaning towards the Rams, but we're going to see what happens because I think these Stafford-Darnold matchups are just absolutely legendary, and I think both quarterbacks are coming in a little bit injured, and now the loser, despite a disappointing season for the 49ers, I guess you didn't do that bad, right? Considering all the injuries that happened, but are we going to keep playing this story every single year? Considering all the injuries. No. At some point, you just have to win, and I think that's what we're seeing here. I don't know, maybe move the stadium. Who am I to say? So, hey, if you like turnovers, then you're going to like this game. And also, if you like turnovers, then you also should go have an apple pie turnover because they're delicious from your local bakery. So, despite coughing the ball up, I don't know, about 1 billion times, this Patriots team managed to win the game 28-16. Again, it's a bend, don't break type of situation that we have going on here. So the offense for this Patriots, led by Drake Maye, you had 3 touchdowns, 16 of 27, 179 yards. A rocky day because he also had 4 fumbles, 2 of them were lost in an interception. So 5 turnovers total, so it's honestly magical that they won this game. But when you look at the other side, it all starts to make sense. Von Diggs, crucial 7-yard reception into the end zone as well. And Kayshon Boutte just delivered the blow as well, getting all the clutch catches. And it feels like every single time it's just a Patriots receiver runs a slant inside their 7 yards or 42 yards, and there's literally no in between. In our defense, they were a turnover machine. I mean, CJ Stroud coughed up the ball multiple times, 4 times in the first half alone, and then just completely destroy the Texans' offensive rhythm. Christian Gonzalez logged a peanut punch, you could say. He gave up a big play the play before, and then after that, one of the players intercepted the ball. He knocked it right out. Once the Texans started getting any type of rhythm, Christian Gonzalez and this Patriots defense absolutely destroyed all the momentum. The overall takeaway is that the variable effect is big with this team. They always believe they can win, and they never stop trying, which, well, is just frankly important for a little bit of football. And now, they've won the games, but they keep turning the ball over. 3 giveaways and 4 fumbles by Drake Maye. This is a glaring red flag when you go ahead and you play the Broncos next week because their defense is nasty as well. This ends the Houston Texans 10-game Cinderella streak. I mean, we saw this even when it was back at Jacksonville when they had that insane comeback. I think that was during that time. I'm not really sure. That one still stings because I did bet Jacksonville. So CJ Stroud had the nightmare of nightmare games, which questions everyone again where, okay, against Pittsburgh, he only had a couple fumbles, so you don't think it's that big of a deal. In reality, it is that big of a deal because he came to this next game and then fumbled a ton. He had more fumbles in these past 2 games than in his entire career. So he does win the first playoff game, so let's not forget that, but he doesn't do great after that. Christian Kirk, another bright spot in this 10-yard touchdown, pretty quick and pretty cool. But it's just, look, the run game, he only held them to 48 yards rushing, which Woody Marks just not electrifying. Anytime they got anything going, he just got stuffed. Will Anderson Jr., absolute terror. This defense, absolute terror. I mean, sure, the Patriots did score a lot of points, but they did pretty well. I mean, they just gave up 7s instead of 3s in the end of the day, but multiple sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Now, the Patriots, they had 248 yards, 3 of 14 on third down, so it was absolutely miserable. But look, the 0-7 curse. You keep making it to this round, the divisional round, as a Texans fan, and then all of a sudden they just take it away from you like Scrooge McDuck, and they say, bye-bye, kids. So the progress, I mean, this DeMarco Ryan team, like, they're getting better. However, you need to do better on your offensive line. It's the same story for the Chargers. You need to beef that up, give your quarterback some more time. The one-handed dagger was probably the sickest catch I've seen in my life. No, that's a lie, but it was definitely up there. Kayshon Boutte, 32-yard, one-hand grab for the touchdown. Once they put that in the end zone, it was definitely a definitive 2-score game, and you knew this team was not going to come back from that. Now, the New England Patriots, they moved to take on Denver, and now they're plus ish to win the Super Bowl because Denver doesn't have their starting quarterback. However, as Nick Foles tweeted, this Patriots team doesn't always do good against backup quarterbacks in the playoffs. So Houston enters in the offseason looking for some more offensive line depth and hopefully just some more overall help. Their offense, the scheme is pretty good. It's just you need to give CJ Stroud a little bit more. So this may have been the best football play I've ever seen in my entire life in this game. Now, it was a frozen Soldier Field, and it was bear weather, as the kids say. However, the Bears' weather did not mean that they won. 2017, Rams won in overtime. So we do winners first on this show. Although the Bears, they definitely had a more exciting game. The Rams won, so we got to talk about them. They survived a historic late-game collapse. I mean, this was just awful by leaning on Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford keeps taking them to the promised land, it feels. Kyren Williams is the engine of this offense, just punishing the Bears on the ground. 21 carries, 87 yards, both of the Rams touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, he did have a bad finger, and we saw this. 20 of 42, 258 yards, including a 16-yard strike to Puka Nacua in overtime, which was clutch to keep moving the chains. Now, Puka, he didn't have the best game, but he came alive when it mattered most. 4th and 5, he had 56 receiving yards. Again, not a great game from him, but when you needed him, he was there. The defense, they stepped up as much as they could. Cam Curl, hero of the night, had a diving interception against the Bears. First possession of overtime, which set up the game-winning drive. And I don't know, you did okay. I mean, this Bears team, they are electric on offense, and you held them to a good amount. Now, the overall team takeaway is that there's a lot of veteran composure on this team. So despite the insane game-tying touchdown that we saw from Caleb, which we'll get into in a second, Sean McDermott said, hey guys, it's a tie game now. We're going overtime. Just keep moving the troops. Now, should they have gone for 2 on that one for the Bears? We'll touch that in a second. The Rams defensive unit generated 47% pressure rate on Caleb without blitzing heavily, which is the main takeaway is that, hey, this defense can still get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. That'll be interesting to see how that impacts Sam Darnold because of his oblique. He might not be running around as much. Now, Chicago Bears, their magic fan finally ran out. However, they still had a lot of magic in this game. Nearly pulled off their 8th late game comeback of the season. It was absolutely electric. Caleb, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, a miracle 51 air yard heave to force overtime, but 3 interceptions in the game. That's not great. But yet people are still talking about the fact that, oh, Caleb can go ahead and paint his nails. Does that really matter? I mean, he might be better than Drake Maye. He's playing at an elite level, and he's doing whatever he can to keep this team moving. Now, DJ Moore stood out for sure amongst these receivers. 70-plus yards on a 3-yard touchdown as well in the second quarter. This defense played better than I think everyone was expecting, especially against this high-powered offensive of these Rams teams, right? So they held the number 1 scoring offense just 10 points below their average, forcing multiple punts, multiple field goals. It was insane. Overtime, though, they had a quick 3-and-out for the Rams, which gave you so much hope as a Bears fan. All the momentum was your way. Of course, it was a pick, but whatever. Now, this is a new era. Despite a 12 win season, I think you just won 5 games the year before. I mean, Ben Johnson has completely flipped this team on top of their head. They got some great draft picks. I mean, this offense is electrifying as well. The defense needs to step it up a bit, but that's fine. Now, this was the moment of the game. It was an absolute miracle. It changed the game. We had Caleb on a 4th and 4, 27 seconds left. down 7 points. Caleb retreated 15 yards. He kept running back, and we saw them coming from both sides and had both of them go, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Then Caleb heaved it up and go, okay, well, that's just a desperate heave. And then all of a sudden, you have one of the defenders go a little bit up, and you have Kmet eke a little bit back in the end zone, and he catches it. It was the most insane catch I've seen on my entire life. 51 yards. I just kept screaming, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because it was just insane. If you love football, I don't care if you're a Packers fan, you had to love seeing that catch. I mean, it was absolutely electrifying. If you're a Rams fan, what's better than that, right? Sending it to overtime, but then your team still wins. I do feel bad for the Chicago Bears fans, but then in the end of the day, I don't really that much because it was just so impressive of a game. So impressive. Cole Kmet, I mean, it was just insane. It was nighttime. What a way to end the season. So, look, Los Angeles Rams, they're going to travel to Seattle. Right now, they're 2.5-point dogs. I love that value. I'll take this because they always go down a field goal game. So why not take that? And you're getting the 2.5. So if someone goes for 2 at the end of the game, whatever. I mean, that's how Seattle beat them last time. It was a 1-point game last time they played. And it was a miracle from Seattle. So I don't understand why people are thinking all of a sudden it's different. You don't think McVay's going to get the team up? You don't think McVay's going to get the boys going for this? I don't know. I can see them beating Seattle, if I'm being honest with you. Chicago, look, they enter in the offseason, focus on offensive line depth. Again, they spent a lot of money on it, but it's great. Keep refining Joe Thuney, electrifying. Look, you have your quarterback, Chicago Bears fans. You should be excited. People, that's it for me today. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. God bless America.